Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Better Call Saul. Last time on Better Call Saul, we had Bagman, where Lalo sent Saul into the desert to get the $7 million from the cousins, and that's exactly what he did, although Kim didn't like that he was doing that. But Kim actually had very good reason, because just after picking up the $7 million, Saul was jumped. Luckily, he was saved by Mike. However, they didn't have a car. All the other cars were shot, and then eventually the slipmobile just conked out and died, and they pushed it off a tiny cliff, and that was that. The end of the slipmobile, unfortunately. They had to basically just walk through the desert with not a lot of water and very terrible conditions, and that's exactly what they did. Eventually, Saul distracted the guy that was searching for them, and Mike took him out, and then Saul, just accepting pretty much where he was in life, had to drink his piss. Meanwhile, Kim was obviously scared about why Jimmy didn't come home, and actually went to Lalo, which confused Lalo, and but then he found it amusing that Jimmy's wife came to look for him, and we're thinking that maybe it wasn't a good idea, and now Lalo may have leverage over Saul if he needs it. But yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. Mike and Saul are still in the desert, so let's see what happens to them now. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Better Call Saul. Here we go. Oh, this looks familiar. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's something stupid again. Yeah. Just this time it's the instrumental version or something. I don't know. And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you. Oh!
I'm okay.
Oh, those chapped lips. Oh. Oof. That was tough. That's a hell of an opening right there. They got new clothes. Oh, it's so weird to see Mike in that. Boy, these two look rough.
Don't go to sleep yet. You gotta work on your story.
Nah.
Right. Let's do it.
Car broke down.
$7 million?
Yep. Oh. Yeah, they weren't expecting him to actually get that money.
Your client has $7 million. Where'd it come from?
That's not the point.
It's not for me to ask where a client gets his money.
And just who exactly is your client?
Mr. de Guzman.
Jorge de Guzman.
There's nothing in the law that says he needs to go any further than that.
Well, you must have a story.
Nah.
Car trouble. Yeah, broke down about 6 miles from the pickup site.
Car broke down. Have you seen his car? Honestly, that makes sense.
Hey, but don't worry. You and me, we're not done. We're gonna do things. Big things.
Are we?
Friend of the cartel, right?
Unfortunate.
Right. So make sure you buy something nice for the wife. Man, she's a looker, huh?
Nah.
My what?
Yeah, the weather, man. She came by to see me. Hey, nice job, eh?
That was a bad move by Kim.
Come on, you're gonna get in this bath, though. It'll help your skin.
Yeah. Please tell me that shit is ice cold.
What is this, cream of wheat?
Oatmeal. It's an oatmeal bath. Anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
It'll help your sunburn.
Wow. That's gonna feel weird.
Jimmy.
You don't see Lalo. I see Lalo, okay? I'm in the game, you're not in the game.
What? The game.
The game.
Listen, it was perfectly safe. I was at the MDC surrounded by guards like any lawyer visiting a client.
It's
okay?
not about
He's
him
not your
killing you
client.
right there.
He's
I won't see Lalo again.
Okay.
good.
But will Lalo see her? That's the problem.
You see it?
But they had tattoos. Same symbol I saw on a job back east. Colombian gang.
These men were hired.
By who?
Oh, Bolsa. That's a weird, like, you're actually playing virtual golf with golf?
And I'm told he will be returning home to continue operations.
That is good news, but coming south, you say?
That's correct.
That's what he says.
I just spoke to the man responsible for the attack.
Really?
Someone we need to worry about?
He was trying to protect his own business by protecting our business.
If that's him trying to help.
He knows nothing of what we are trying to accomplish.
Well.
Once,
Nacho Varga.
Oh,
He wants out.
okay.
You have a gun to his father's head. That doesn't sit with me. You want to keep Varga in for the long run? I don't think fear is a great motivator.
a dog who bites every owner he's had can only be disciplined with a firm hand or put down.
Interesting. It's one way to look at Nacho. Oh. It's interesting he's kind of getting some, like, PTSD from that. Oh. I was gonna say about the blood. No, it's about the piss. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I guess my stomach's just not ready for this yet.
Or it's both. I think it's people getting eviscerated and also piss. Just because it's the color of his piss.
And I know something terrible happened in the desert. This isn't about our deal. I'm not insisting or forcing you to tell me. I just
I want you to...
want you to know that I'm here for you.
Yo, therapy. Can we try that again?
So, what's up?
Oh no. Why can't we hear? So all we heard was, what? Please don't tell me she just quit her job.
Marcy, can you do me a favor? Copy all the pro bono files and send the originals to my place. Also, it's no rush, but box up my diplomas and photos, please.
Did she just quit?
We moving offices?
No.
En el 11 meses Tuco sale de la cárcel y se va a encargar de todo aquí.
No. I was about to ask. Eventually Tuco will take over.
We're bringing birthday cake out for Louise, one of our residents. Everyone's going to sing Hector Really Doesn't Like to Miss These.
Yeah. Could you give us a minute, please?
No. Hector doesn't like to miss those? Yeah, he sure seems to enjoy those. The great Hector Salamanca. And there's the man that put him there.
No, and don't think of all the kids you'll help learn what not to do when faced with underwhelming odds. It's so embarrassing. You'll probably have to change your name again.
This fucking guy. I'm glad he's still around. Saul couldn't do it.
Hey!
Ah!
Just so you know, I don't think any less of you. You're still a lawyer.
Thank you. That guy is amazing, can I just say. He's so distracting from the important, like, plot that's happening with Saul.
One day you're gonna wake up, eat your breakfast, brush your teeth, go about your business. And sooner or later, you're gonna realize you haven't thought about it.
Nah.
And that's the moment. You realize you can forget.
Nah.
When you know that's possible, it all gets easier. We all make our choices. And those choices, they put us on a road. Sometimes those choices seem small, but they put you on the road. You think about getting off, but eventually you're back on it.
No.
The road we're on led us out to the desert and everything that happened there and straight back to where we are right now. And nothing can be done about that.
A choice with no regrets. There it is. Whoa! That was a hell of a jump. That's a bullet hole.
Come. Back to Albuquerque.
Oh, no.
I, quit Schweikart and Coakley. And I gave up Mesa Verde.
Okay, I was not expecting that.
So you're just gonna throw it all away? I mean, you busted your ass for all of it.
I'm not throwing it away. I did S&C. I did Mesa Verde. I achieved that.
You did a lot.
I'm leaving something that makes zero difference in the world to help people who are actually in need.
I mean, I get why she does it, but it's the practicality.
Look, we all make choices, right? And
oh my
those
god, he's
choices
gonna try to do
put
this.
us on a road. Yeah.
Listen to me. Put your phone down, leave it on so I can hear.
So you can hear what?
Do what I said right now. Put it down somewhere it can't be seen.
Lalo.
Hey, guys.
Ah!
I come in?
Look, you want to talk, we can talk, but Kim was just stepping out, so.
Nah, she could stay. Tell me again.
What?
Tell me again.
He knows you're lying.
Paid a lot of money for that story, so I think I can hear it as much as I want.
I mean, where's he going with this?
Tell me again.
He's gonna torture him.
$7 million.
Shit. Well, if he just fucking kills him.
Did you push it in a ditch?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, I mean, you either did or you didn't, so, which one is it?
Maybe it just rolled. You know, that can happen.
I don't know what you... Okay.
Are you kidding me with this?
Kim,
do you know what he did for you? $7 million of your money. He hauled it across a goddamn desert without one penny missing. And he got you out of jail for a murder that, let's face it, you're definitely guilty of.
Damn. Oh.
He did everything you asked and went way beyond what any other lawyer would ever do. So
Kim, take a step to the
what
right.
exactly is it that you're getting at? What do you want?
I found his car in a ravine. bullet
Okay.
holes on the side. So I'm just waiting to hear how that happened.
Maybe they're old bullet holes.
Look, I don't know what it's like where you're from, but here in New Mexico, you leave a soda can out, someone's taking a shot at it. That's what you're on about. You don't think it's possible a couple of yahoos with guns shot up a piece of junk?
Kim, get out of the way!
End of story?
Although I didn't even know if Mike
operation
can
are
take the
you
shot.
running? Anyway, tell me.
Ah!
You have no one else you can trust,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
So you sent some lawyer through the desert with your $7 million? No offense, but you need to get your house in order.
Oh, really?
Ugh.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
If
you
don't
trusted
trust
him
your man
over
with your money,
Nacho.
you have bigger problems than if you trust Saul Goodman.
That's a good point.
For the record,
I don't know if he likes good points, though.
but next time you have a bunch of money and no one you can trust, leave him out of it, okay? Try a wire transfer. Try a shell company or you've heard of the Cayman Islands, right? Jesus, get your shit together and stop torturing the one man who went through hell to save your ass.
Just go. Just go. I don't think he believes it. He's just gonna leave without another word. Ugh. You can't take the shot, though.
What now?
Mexico.
Huh.
Come on, Ignacio, go. We got a long way ahead of us.
Oh, don't just cut from there. Oh, they cut from there. Oh, they cut from there. Oh. I mean, it's such a thing. I mean, if you want an example, the perfect example of how to do a prequel correctly, it's this. Because in this scene, where we know Saul Goodman will get out of this. Saul Goodman will go on. He will go through all of Breaking Bad. He will survive Breaking Bad and get all the way to Nebraska at least. The tension is Kim. The tension is Kim. Because we don't know. We don't know what happens to Kim. We know Mike. We know Saul. We do not know Kim. We do not know Nacho or Lalo. Lalo is referenced in Breaking Bad, I admit, but doesn't mean anything, really. And that was the thing. We didn't know Chuck. And then Chuck died. We don't know Kim. We don't know Nacho. We don't know Lalo. We don't know Howard. We don't know how these characters end up. I love that her excuse is, this is New Mexico, and rednecks just shoot shit all the goddamn time. That's her excuse. The thing is, I cannot for the life of me figure out what was going through Lalo's mind in all of this. Does Lalo believe it? Does Lalo see her point at least? Even if he doesn't believe it, is he thinking, well, hey, this guy did what he did. Granted, it's not even just that, you know, it's really the fact that he can't, now he does not trust Saul. Saul lied to him. And it also brings up the question of, if the bullet holes, if there are bullet holes, if he got attacked but still got away, with the $7 million in tow, then how did that happen? Because obviously Saul's not going to do that himself. So how did that happen? Lalo wants to know, and Lalo wants to know why Saul would lie about that. So, yeah, I don't think, obviously, that Lalo believed the story of, well, it's New Mexico, people take shots all the time, you know? I don't know. Why would he then leave, you know? Why did he leave then? Why indeed? I don't know, man. All I know is that's a hell of a place to cliffhang before the finale. The season finale. Before we get into the final season, you know? Alright. So. Something Stupid 2. We had another Something Stupid open. But this time, it wasn't the full song. It was a lot shorter, but yeah, just shows the dichotomy. Showing the difference between their days. Saul going through until eventually he got that phone signal and managed to call Kim. And then they got to the truck stop and cleaned themselves up as best they could. And then he got $7 million all the way to the bond office, and that hey, he paid it off. And it's an interesting thing, because, yeah, it's like, obviously that would set off flares, as Saul said, that, set off flares of how does this guy have this money, where does he get the money from, who is he, you know? But, honestly, yeah, it's like, they're asking that, and Saul does not have to answer. He does not have to answer, you know? Man, I love to, because Kim does, I mean, in that last thing, when she confronts Lalo, she brings up the good point of, like, you know, like, don't have a system where you have to lug $7 million through the desert, you know? Like, don't do that, you know? Have a bank. Wire it. I love that she's like, you ever heard of the Cayman Islands? The problem is she brings up a good point, but Nacho, I don't know how much of that he listened to, you know? I don't know how much of that Lalo listened to, you know? He's just angry. Angry that happened. So yeah, is Jimmy a friend of the cartel? Is he a friend of the cartel? I don't know. Well, he's definitely not a friend of Lalo anymore. I think that he lied to him. Lalo found out, and now Jimmy's in trouble. Jimmy is gonna need some protection, like, from Gus's crew, you know? Jimmy and Kim. Either that, or they're gonna need to run. They're gonna need to, you know, change everything. Their names, their identities, their social security numbers, their past. Change everything off the grid. The problem is, we know that Jimmy will not do this. At least, not in this show. Jimmy's not going to do that in this show. And you know, I'm very curious. Like, I I hope someday there's some reaction channel, or I just know somebody and I show them Better Call Saul first. I want to see someone react to Better Call Saul first, you know? Because that, I almost feel like, would make the scene even more tense, you know? Now, granted, you could still... I mean, you probably... Even if you didn't know... Even if you didn't watch Breaking Bad first, you probably would still know that Jimmy goes on into Breaking Bad, but you would not have the fallback, at least, that we have, where we can at least think, well, for Kim, there is always the vacuum guy, you know? There is always Ed, you know? And if that's what it comes to, then hey, that's, you know, that's at least a good ending. She's not dead, you know? With any luck, that's, you know, that's what happens, that she disappears, you know? She's not killed by Lalo. But if you're watching this for the first time without watching Breaking Bad, you don't have that luxury. You are sitting here thinking, dear God, what can she do? You know? What can be done to save her, if at all? Okay. I'm confused. So Bolsa hired this Colombian gang to steal the 7 million and kill Saul. Well, obviously I'm sure Juan Bolsa doesn't know about Saul, but it was like, hey, go get the 7 million, you know? They didn't want to deal with the twins. The twins probably would have been able to take them all out. So, instead, they waited for the money to be passed to Jimmy, and then they attacked Jimmy instead. But Juan has to know, because the twins are under Juan's command. So he would know why they're doing this, you know? He would know why they're doing this. He would know who they're doing this for. Why is Juan Bolsa taking action against Lalo? That's my question. What if, you know, Lalo's going off about, you know, making sure that, the chicken man doesn't, you know, he's not worth it to the boys down south, you know? I'm almost wondering, what if Don Eladio is like, the North is useless, you know? Or is he thinking, hey, I can't deal with Salamancas anymore, you know? Maybe Don Eladio is realizing, or even maybe it's not even Don Eladio, maybe it's Juan. Maybe it's Juan Bolsa. That it's like, look, Salamancas are a trouble, you know? And if Lalo stays up there, it's trouble. If Tuco takes over, it's trouble. The twins are not really trouble, but still. But they can't run the business, so maybe the cartel is actually looking the opposite way. They're thinking the Salamancas, because Hector, you know, Hector had problems before he was resigned to the wheelchair. And now Lalo may be just inheriting those problems, but Lalo is not Hector, you know? Maybe they're looking at Lalo and Tuco and being like, these two are not worth it, you know? Maybe these two are not worth it. So maybe that's it, is that Juan Bolsa is now taking action against Lalo, you know? I don't know. But that is interesting that it was Juan who sent the Colombians after the money. We have Gus is going to keep Nacho. I get that it's like, you know, it's an asset you can control that they don't know about. I will say, though, the whole thing of, you know, Gus or Mike saying, you know, it may not be good to control him with fear. And it's interesting because that's what we hear in season 3 of Breaking Bad when Mike is like, well, why don't you just tell Walter that, you know, hey, you gotta work for me. You stop causing trouble. I'm trying, I'm keeping these assassins off of you. And Gus says, I don't think fear is a good motivator. So he's contradicting that, though, with Nacho. But Nacho is very different from Walt. And the thing is, Walt eventually got to that point, Walt eventually got to that point, after killing Gale, Gus killing Victor right in front of them, keeping this fear, eventually leading them out into the desert and being like, I will kill your family. Gus had no choice, Gus will try to, not use fear as a tactic, but if he has to, he will. That's the thing. If he has to, he absolutely will. A dog that bites every owner's hand needs to either be tamed by a firm hand or put down. So either you keep the gun to his dad's head or you put him down. I don't see why you can't just let him, disappear. Like, actually disappear. Not just let him go, but let him disappear, Kim quit Schweikert and Coakley. Honestly, that doesn't seem important anymore. It's like kind of a minor thing now, but whatever. Yeah. I get it. She's done with Mesa Verde. She doesn't like it. She just wants to do the pro bono work. But they're still gonna be in a lot of trouble. Oh man, you know what I just thought about? The $100,000 that Saul got from Lalo, which is, it's a good chunk of change. But that's not enough to cover Ed's expenses, because he charges $125,000. So they would still be $25,000 short if that's what they're going for with Kim. But probably, especially with everything with Mesa Verde, I'm sure Kim could dump. I'm sure she has $25,000 that, in an emergency like that, I think she could, scrounge up the money from her savings, So yeah, Kim quit Schweikert and Coakley. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, there's more important things to talk about in this episode. I did like that part with Saul and Mike, where it's like, how long does it take to not think about this, before this gets any better? And Mike says, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize you haven't thought of it, And that's got to be a little tough for him to say, because that happened to him when it came to Maddie, but also to Stacy. That's what Stacy was talking about, and she was like, what if I go an entire day without thinking of him? And it's like, well, that'll happen. That'll happen. But whereas she doesn't want to forget about Matt, Saul does want to forget about this. Eventually there will come a day when you realize that you haven't even thought about it. And yeah, I think by the time of Breaking Bad, that has happened, And I like the whole thing with the roads, every choice we make puts us on a road, We think about getting off, but eventually we'll be right back on that road, and there's nothing, all this stuff happened, and there's not a damn thing we can do about that, And honestly, it brings me back. I say this like so many times now, but it brings me back to the Attack on Titan OVA, No Regrets, where Levi is about to regret bringing his friends into the scout regiment because they ended up, spoilers, dying, and Commander Ervin's like, no, don't regret it, Don't regret it, or it will eat away at you for the rest of your life. And yeah, Saul is kind of in that position now. It's like, look, don't dwell on this too much, or this is going to destroy you. You have to focus on the future, and the future is dealing with Lalo. Excuse me, that had been working its way up for a minute. Oh. Anyway, but yeah. The roads have led us here. The roads, every choice that Jimmy has made since episode 1 has led us here. And it's unfortunate, but there's not a damn thing to be done about it now. What you can do is try to move forward. And by move forward, I mean call Ed. But we know Jimmy won't do that. And yeah, Kim versus Lalo. I mean, that was great. She stood up to him, but man, it's not often we see Lalo genuinely mad. He keeps on the smile most of the time, but seeing him seeing that smile drop, it's like, oh shit, And that's the thing, I know a lot of people said before we saw Lalo, I remember people saying that Lalo is even scarier than Gus. And I don't know if I don't know if I can fully agree with that, just because I'm so, Gus is just so, in my mind, But Lalo, if he's not, he's a very close second, Imagine Walt trying to deal with Lalo, Imagine this scene, but, I could imagine a scene like this, but it's Lalo coming to, get the story from Jesse, and then Walt, goes off, it's like, oh, well, I don't know how it is down south, but here in New Mexico, you leave a soda can out and some hillbilly will shoot it, You can take what Kim was saying and somewhat apply it, somewhat hear it in Walt's voice, and you can just hear that desperation that Walt would give to Lalo, And yeah, it'd be just as terrifying. So I don't know if I can let him dethrone Gus in my head as one of the greatest villains in fictional history, but I can get him really damn close, because God, he is scary. He is absolutely terrifying. And it's an interesting thing, I just thought of this, where when you see Hector, and, before he's in the wheelchair, honestly, I feel like Hector is, classic sort of, gangster sort of vibe, he just goes around, he owns the place, and just everything, he gives me some more, older, classic movies, maybe, 70s or even before that kind of movies, but it's interesting the shift between those types of older, criminal archetypes and what we do a lot today, where a lot of today is crazy people, another example of this could be a difference between Jokers. You go back to Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and he's, out here in the 40s, kind of, yes, he's crazy, but he's also, he was just, a Gotham criminal, and then, ended up being the Joker, and you compare that to, Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix, and not Jared Leto, because he sucked. But yeah, but you compare that portrayal of the Joker to modern portrayals of the Joker, and they're night and day. And Nicholson is great, and they're great, but it's just such a difference, and that is definitely seen when you have Hector, who's going around like a classic, this dude, he's been around the block, it's not, is he a murderer? Yes, but is he friggin' crazy? I don't know how to describe it, but then you get to Tuco and now Lalo, and it's these dudes are friggin' insane and crazy, So I like that you can sort of see those different kind of criminal, I guess, character archetypes with the various Salamancas, and then even getting into Gus, who is a very, almost, he's like 2 steps away from, like, you know, stroking a cat at his desk, you know? But just his very calm, collected demeanor is just so interesting, and it's different from everybody else, you know? So I like seeing that. I like playing with those different, you know, not everybody's crazy, you know? Even in the crazy ones, Lalo is very different from Tuco, you know? And yeah, and then you put all those together in one show, and it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying, and while the comfort we have is that we know what happens to Jimmy, the dread is we don't know what happens to Kim. Oh god. Next week is the season 5 finale, before we get into the final season. This is gonna be something. This is gonna be something. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Better Call Saul reactions, as well as another playlist for all of my Breaking Bad reactions if you want to go check those out. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.